Iron TREADS is a powerful ground steel type Pokemon introduced in Generation 9 that I drafted in my current draft league, the Ocean Battle League. What's up guys, Fodge here, and in my Week 4 game of the OBL, I attempted to make Iron TREADS a sweeper with a rapid spin and weakness policy set. Let's see how that went. My Week 4 match of the OBL was against Terravolt KB, a very skilled player with an insanely threatening team. He has threats like Kyurem Black, Ursaluna, Terra Virizion, and Terra Hatterene that I really do not have a switch into, and so I had to get very creative with this matchup. Let's jump right into the game to see what we both brought, and you guys will get to see my sets as we go along. Alright, getting into the game, we can see that Terravolt did in fact elect to bring 6 of his 7 top Mons, only leaving Virizion on the bench this week. So his only Terra Captain that showed up here is the Hatterene, which was Terra Water. My dedicated lead this week is a pretty silly Choice Scarf Victini set, as you can see below, with Final Gambit and a lot of HP investment. Because his team is so threatening, I wanted to see if I can get an opening for Final Gambit at some point this game, so that's why that's here. Turn 1 though, I want to kind of scout to see what he's going to do. His Blastoise leads off, so I U-turn out into Moltres as he flip turns out into Hatterene. I realize this isn't a really good matchup for me, and so I do just decide to stay in and chip it down a little bit and scout. I get lucky with the Fiery Wrath flinch. I realize that he's pretty specially defensive and he heals up a little bit with his leftovers item. As I swap into my Wigglytuff, which is a dual screen set to support my team, he elects to Baton Pass out into his Ursaluna, which is extremely scary. And so what I do is I switch out into my Mismagius, which is here specifically to deal with this Ursaluna since it's immune to both of its stabs. And in the case that he elects to go for a dark move, I do have a Colbur Berry to resist that. So I do scout a little bit. I wanted to go for the sub there just to see if he would switch out. And then I go for the Grass Knot, and I do get a critical hit, which I really feel bad about because that definitely mattered. That would not have killed otherwise. As he goes into his Zeraora here, I really don't have a switch in, and I don't want to risk my Iron Tread, so I do decide to just sack Mismagius because he killed the Ursaluna, which is what it was here for. At this point, I feel pretty safe to go into Wigglytuff and start setting up screens here as he goes into Moltres and just U-turns out. So I am going to be able to get up a free pair of screens. He U-turns out into his Mega Blastoise, who just flip turns, so I guess he's just trying to burn some screen turns. At this point, he goes into Hatterene as I teleport out to get some positioning myself. So it's at this point that I go into Iron Treads. And again, reminder, he's Terra Water. But rather than terrestrializing into a water type, he decides to just switch out. I went for Earthquake because I predicted he would just stay in Terra Water and hit me with a water move or something. So since that doesn't work out, I decide to go into Victini because it's pretty safe on the Moltres, especially behind screens. And since I still have my screens up here, I'm just going to aggressively go for the Bolt Strike on the Blastoise. I was kind of predicting he would flip turn again, which he did end up doing, so I did not feel too threatened there. But now I'm locked into Bolt Strike, the big threat comes in, so I gotta go into my Wigglytuff. And he reveals that he is Hone Claws, which is very scary because Dragon Dance is banned, so that is another way he can set up, which is kind of cool. He decides to switch because you can't break the Wigglytuff. I teleport just to try and get in one of my fast threats against the Kyurem, but it works out because I get initiative against the Moltres instead. He swaps his Moltres back out into Kyurem on mine, and I get a good chunk of damage off with a Fiery Wrath as I go into Jump Scare to try and check this thing, because I know I live one of anything he does when he's neutral, and I outspeed him and threaten him back with an Iron Head. I do get a little ballsy here though. I call the Moltres swap and go for the Rock Slide, and I get it right. Even if he stayed in, Rock Slide would have been super effective damage. It wouldn't have killed, but would have had the chance to roll a flinch and get him nice and low. He decides to go into Blastoise. My Moltres chips him down to very low HP, so now this Blastoise really can't come in much longer because it doesn't get recovery. And he threatens me with Kyurem again, so at this point my hand is forced. I gotta go into Wigglytuff as he does Scale Shot here, which was pretty lucky on my part because I did not have to take damage. This Wigglytuff is here just to slow pivot through into one of my threats I can deal with the Kyurem, which I choose to go into Latios. And, you know, I didn't really want to mess around with the +1 Kyurem that has Scale Shot, so I clicked Draco Meteor anyway, even knowing he had a Fairy type in the back. As Hatterene comes out, I flip turn away. Try to go back into my Wigglytuff here to get good positioning if he does Baton Pass, and I should be able to get screens up again. He goes into Moltres, which doesn't really threaten me much. It looks like he just went into it just to heal up, so I am going to be able to get my screens up here again for free, which is awesome. He U-turns out. I'm going to get my Reflect up as he goes into his Hatterene. He's going to get a little more leftovers recovery, and he is going to just Baton Pass again, as I throw off a Wish to see if I can heal up one of my teammates. The nice thing about this set is that Teleport is negative priority, so even something as slow as the Hatterene, I can underspeed with Teleport and teleport out. And so I'm going to Wish Pass this into my low health Iron Treads, get him back to 100% HP because Wigglytuff's HP stat is insane, so it heals a lot. And he is just going to sack the Blastoise. At this point, feeling good. I've got a max HP Iron Treads behind screens. He's going to bulk up on the Zeraora, which I was kind of surprised by. I figured he would be pretty threatened by an Earthquake and just hit me with a damaging move. So I get my Rapid Spin up, get the +1 speed, fire off an Earthquake. It's not quite enough to kill, but he does elect to Drain Punch me and proc my weakness policy. So now I am in great shape as my opponent crashes out a little bit in the chat here, asking if he can forfeit. And since I have kind of made it a tradition at this point to bring weakness policy against Terravolt, he, I guess, is getting kind of sick of it. But unironically, this set does look really good into his team, as you can see now. Remember, I'm Earthquake, Rock Slide, Iron Head. He really doesn't have anything for this anymore, and so Iron Treads is in good shape to just clean this game. He Terras Water on the Hatterene. I don't mess around with it because Earthquake is a kill from there anyway. Reflect wears off, but at this point it's too late. He kind of has to bank on a Rock Slide miss, but I do get it. I do get the hit. And finally, Kyurem is going to be his last Mon, and will fall victim to an Iron Head. So really good game. Really felt good to bounce back with a 5-0 dub against a very good player, especially after how my last 2 weeks have gone. If you haven't seen those videos, go check those out. My most recent ones on the Mega Gyarados incident and Boltund and Kabutops being frauds. But yeah, really felt good to win this game, get some differential back, get some of my record back. And really what carried this game was this Iron Tread set, but you know, most valuable player I think might actually be the no attacking move support Wigglytuff with Reflect, Light Screen, Wish, and Teleport. Actually did some pretty crazy work, and was able to switch into the insane threat that was Kyurem. As you can see here in the post-game chat, my opponent was not very happy about how this went down. So yeah, felt good to get the win. GG's to Terravolt. I know it didn't really go your way, brother, but you're an awesome player. And I feel like our games are always good and close, so I'm sure I'll see you in the playoffs. GG's, thank you to everyone for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.